Hello, hello, gang. Sorry about that last one. I'm not sure what happened there. Boy, that light is bright. Sorry about that. Hey, Linda, thanks for joining. Just gonna do a little. It's been a while since I've been doing any periscoping on bread, so here I am. And hey, John, how you doing, man? Hey, John, what's in the house, man? Hope you're having a good time up there. Getting a little chilly. We're gonna get some snow finally down here this weekend. Oh, you're welcome, Linda. I made you a super fan. I don't know about that, but you rock, though. That's pretty cool. Hey, Bev, thanks for joining. Hello, hello, Beverly. Hey, Sam. Hi, Sam. Joined us. All right, what we're going to do is just going to show real quickly just a little bit on sourdough culture. I've got some here. We're going to start it. It's making kombucha right now. Oh, my gosh. That is awesome. Love it, man. Enjoy it. Do you like the kombucha, John? Yeah, it's been a while, Sam, since I've scoped. I mean, it's been a long time. Kombucha? It's the fermented tea your dad makes? That's good stuff. Yes, good stuff there. All right, you guys. I'm going to get started here. It's kind of a shorter scope. Well, yeah, it is. Oh, you do? Oh, man, you make some good stuff. I'm going to show you here the kombucha sourdough is it's taking the yeast strands out of kombucha. Kombucha is a fermented tea. Kombucha has a SCOBY, which is a symbiotic quality of bacteria and yeast, so that way it helps ferment the tea. Puts out a lot of great probiotics for you. Got a lot of good bacteria in there for your system. Keep you good and regular and healthy. There's also kefir is another way to. Oh my gosh, Darlene's in the house. So cool. Thanks for joining. This is a sourdough. Oh my gosh, been so crazy busy. I'll have to get back to you. I haven't made donuts in like decades. So, hey, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too as well. That's cool. Thanks for inviting your friends and your followers. Cool. Appreciate that. And so we're just going to go through just a short, Big Todd's in the house. Thanks for joining. Just a short recipe. It's really pretty easy. Just flour, water, salt, and the culture. Okay. Which is just flour, water, and the yeast. Okay. Hey, Scott, thanks for joining. As you can see here, this is my culture. I'm going to bring the camera up a little bit. Oh, it's kind of overflowing on my hand here. What you can see here, you can see how active this is. This stuff is so active. It's really, really bubbly here. Hey, Scott. Man, it is like a sponge. It's very, very active. Let me be right back. Sorry, I thought I had everything, but I didn't get a rag. There we go. Got a little rag to wipe things off here, okay? Now, I'm going to turn this around a little bit so you can see the bubbliness of this. Just a second here. Okay, there we go. And this is just 24 hours at room temperature, so it really probably could have went easily after 12 hours. I could have used it for bread making, but you can see how much. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a sourdough culture that is this active. I mean, it is loaded with bubbles. Okay, if you guys like sourdough. If you guys know somebody that likes sourdough bread, get this out so that way they can help get some things. Yeah, it is amazing. It really is, Scott. I've seen a number of different sourdough cultures in my day, but I haven't seen one this active. You know, it's really, watch it as it drops. Bang. Boop. We always did 24 on color. Never saw one that active. Yeah, it's because of the yeast that I use, the kombucha yeast I use, and so I'm getting this out. This culture is amazingly active. It's very easy to make some high quality bread. Now tonight I'm doing it in a mixer. The other times I've done it is strictly by hand, and it makes it so ridiculous easy. I'm not good at making videos, but I tried to make a little video, so I'd like to get that put up on my Facebook. So if you'd like to follow me, I'm on Facebook. But I just dig right in here. All we're going to do is we're going to take, you put the year from the kombucha in the sponge. Yes, you just get the yeast. That's the little brown strands of yeast. And then I just pull some of those out, add a little bit of water, equal parts weight, water and bread flour. Okay, and it doesn't take much, 100 grams of each. Put a few, 3 or 4 strands of the yeast in there, mix it up, and it'll start inactive immediately. And then use that for your sustained culture. So I'll keep it in the fridge about once a week. Every 2 weeks I've mixed it up, and it's still incredibly active. Like I pulled this out 24 hours ago, added equal parts water and flour to it, and it just blew up. It maxed out. It, you know, not really maxed out, but it over doubled in size in 12 hours. So it's very, very active. Okay. So I'm just going to take the water. I'm just going to put in 550 grams of water. This is really 2 good-sized loaves of bread. Okay. I got my digital scale here, so I'm just putting in 550 grams of water. And right now I'm just using eating dinner. Oh, cool. Hey, Nick, thanks. And I'm just using room temperature water right now. And that's all I've used so far when I've made it. I'll probably end up using some cooler water as well to slow the fermentation down a little bit, you know, just have a go. Alright, so I've got my 450 grams in there, and then now I'm going to add this stuff it's kind of blowing up here. You feed it 24 hours, just you say every 8 hours, but we didn't at school. You know, if you're going to feed your culture, you know, you don't have to do it every 8 hours. You know, I mean, I'm doing this thing is like typically I used to do 24 hours, but when I would make a batch for when I have my bakery, I would make a big batch that would last me so I could make sourdough every day at the bakery for a week. Then once a week I would refresh my culture, right? So weekly I did it at the bakery, and now here at home it's a little more distance than that. Sometimes it's 2 weeks, preferably a week. Sometimes I just take the culture, instead of pulling a small piece out and adding the water, I just add a little water and flour to what I have in there, and it ferments up, keeps it going, gives it some more food. So it's a very, very active culture, as you can see, and it's just crazy. So we're just going to add, we got the 550 grams of water, and then we're just going to add in, let's see here, it is 275 grams of culture, okay? And it's, as you can see, it's very, let me get the, not good on Mr. Cameraman today here. Got so much of this culture all over the place here. I need to get one of those other 275 heart attack in a bowl. Not sure what you mean there, but you know, it's all good, dude. All right, so I'm just putting in the 275 grams of culture here. I'll show it. I'll get the camera moved over in a second once I get it in there. One G is best. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. 275. Got it right here. All right, let me wipe that off. All right, so let me get this turned around. I'll show you what we've got here. All right, and what do we have here? We've got... There you go. Because you can see it's hopefully it's coming in kind of a little better focus for you here. And then I'm just going to take this and just mix it up a little bit. You can see it's so much bubbles in there. It just floats. Just mix it up briefly like that, and we're done. Okay. And I still have this stuff here, and you can see how bubbly it is. I mean, it's just loaded with it. Okay? So yeah, those of you sourdough, you know, somebody likes to make sourdough bread. Just kind of send this out there. Invite your followers. It's a real simple recipe. All right, so we got the water, 550 grams of water, 275 grams of the culture. Okay, and then I've already got the flour scaled up. I've got 825 grams of high protein flour, not bread flour, but high protein flour. All right, you could use bread flour, cut back a little bit on the water on it, but you know, you could use bread flour if you want to. The high protein flour is going to give you a little more sour. It helps. I don't know quite the best way to say it other than it just gives you a better flavor. There's more lactic acid. There's more proteins. There's just a different interaction with the yeast to give a little bit better flavor. But the bread flour is going to work fantastic as well. And then it has 17 grams of salt. So I'm just taking this stuff here, And I'm just dumping that right in here. Okay. And then I'm just going to be putting it just right on my mixer. Normally I've just been doing this by hand, not putting it on my mixer because it's so successful, so easy to make. It's ridiculous. I've been making bread for umpteen years, but the success rate is like 100%. I mean, it's really amazing. So I've got this here. Let me turn this around so you can see it there. Hey, Henry, thanks for joining. And I've just got that in here. And I'm not sure how the reception is coming out there for you guys. Hope everything's coming in smooth and clear for y'all. Oh wow. I haven't been on here. Look at that. They got hide chat. They've got show chat. All kinds of stuff. It's been a while. So it's just going to be 4-minute dough. This is a 6-quart KitchenAid. And it's coming around. Just mixing away, man. There you go. There we go. Alright, you can see it's kind of getting, it's coming into a ball. It's still a little, I'm just going to add a little bit more flour to it there. I'm just going to pull it down now, get it off of there. Okay, now that I have it off of there, what was the size of it? It's a 6-quart. I missed the question there. Sorry about that. What speed? It was just on the first speed. Okay, and I'm just flowing a little bit more flour in here, just so I can pick up the dough that worked on here. Okay, so now I'm just going to take it and get it off of here. There we go. I'm just going to take the scraper, scrape down the stuff off the side here. And on the bottom, there's still flour that's not mixed up here. So, again, just adding a little bit more flour to kind of keep it from... It's a fairly wet dough, so it's okay to add a little bit extra flour to it. So it's a high moisture. Okay. Then I can just turn it out on the table, making sure I get my stuff scraped out of here as best I can. There we go. And then I can just turn it a little bit. As you can see, it's kind of wet. And part of that is the warmth of the flour and the water and the culture. Everything's about room temperature, so it's going to be softer. But if I use colder water, it's going to be firmer as well. All right, so now I just picked that up a little bit, just so I got it, all the flour kind of incorporated. All right, then we're going to put it back in the bowl here. Throw a little more flour in there. I'm just going to get this back on here. There we go. There we go. Alright, and I'm just letting it mix a little bit now. Normally I would just be mixing it. I mix this by hand for a little bit like this, then let it rise for a couple hours, like 2 hours. And I'm trying something a little different today to kind of speed up the process a little bit. And I'm just putting it on the mixer for a few more minutes. So it's going to have a couple minutes of mix time on there. So what I'm trying to do is the mixing is going to help incorporate smaller bubbles of air in there. So it's going to be a tighter grain bread. But just to help mix it up a little bit, because once I'll still let it rise 2 hours, and then in about 2 hours I'm going to take the dough out, shake it, put it in and just let it rise overnight. Okay, and then tomorrow morning I'll bake off the 2 loaves of bread. Right? And we can do different things with this stuff. You can throw Italian herbs in there to have an Italian flavored bread. A lot of different things you can do with this to kind of have some fun with it. So let's take a look here again. Okay, it's real wet. Kind of kick it up a little bit here. I'm bringing the bowl down to get it off the dough hook there. As you can still see, it's kind of staying together, but it's a real wet dough. Well, tonight, yeah, Linda, tonight I'm actually trying something a little different. I'm going to just mix it up, let it rise 2 hours, and put it in the fridge. Okay, in the form of loaves, in pans. Okay. Normally, what I do is I'll let it rise 2 hours, and then if you follow me on Facebook, I can get you the recipe of what I usually do. But it's more of a room temperature ferment, but it works great. But it does take about 6 hours overnight to rise at room temperature. So I'm just trying to get the extended rise in a refrigerator. Okay. So, but this is just something. Yeah, it's going to go 2 hours, and then we're just going to see what it's like tomorrow. And try and bake it off a little bit different. There we go. It's coming along. Jim's in the house. Hey, Jim. Trying a little different something on my sourdough, different actual starter culture. Let's see what this is. No, actually, you don't really have to worry too much about overmixing it. Not in the sense that it'll get tough. It's just that when you mix the dough a lot and give it extended fermentation, it can actually break the proteins down more, because a sourdough produces acids, and those acids basically dissolve the gluten. They break the gluten down because it's actually soluble in, the acids break it down, soluble in alcohol, so it has a tendency to kind of break it down a little bit, so it's not quite as strong. Okay, so but it's let me show you a little bit here what we got. Now I mix it up a little bit, and you can see how it's still wet, but it's it's nice and extensible, but it's still tearing. See how it's not really, the gluten itself hasn't really formed much yet. Okay? But in artisan breads, when they're making these things and extending it overnight, yes, I am. You're probably seeing Julian Assange more than you've seen me. Okay? That's some political humor there. But you're not wanting to develop the proteins a whole lot right now, because it's going to extend fermentation. No sound? Sorry, man. Yeah, I was having problems with the video earlier, so I don't know. It's the first time I've been on. Maybe I need to update my Periscope app. I don't know. But I'm going to be putting a video up just so that way you guys can see the recipe, see how to do it and stuff. But just been wanting to get up here. Hopefully you can try it out here. Let me turn it around so at least you can see something. What's freezing? Okay, sorry, Linda. You can always watch it on a replay. Yeah. Oh, you got some sound now? Oh yeah, Nick. Try to. You can either follow me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, on Facebook. I can get you the recipe. There I guess it's coming together a little bit more, but it's still real wet and soupy there. So. Yeah, and it's going to mix for a couple minutes like that. This time I'm trying a little different. Normally I just mix it up by hand, a very short, very brief period of time, and let the fermentation and naturally develop the gluten. And it's like an artisan loaf. You got big bubbles inside there, uneven texture. You know, it's just kind of a mix of things inside of there. So it's pretty, but it's a nice long fermentation, a great way to make bread, and it makes a fantastic flavored bread. You know, and it's been so easy to make it. It's nice to be able to make something, pop it in the, do my little fermentation, and away we go. Especially we got some stormy weather coming there, so we're going to make some here. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Coming around, starting to pull together a little bit more. Okay. We're gonna call it a day now. See how it does. This is definitely a little more. There we go. This is definitely a little more fermentation than what I would typically add. Just gonna get it out of the bowl here. Just gonna scrape it out a little bit here. There we go. And then we got it. I'm just going to give it a couple of folds here real quick. Now it's going to be a real wet dough, so you don't want to do a whole lot on the table. You got to do it real quick or it gets pretty sticky. But all we're trying to do is give it a nice smooth skin like this. And it looks pretty good. Got to smack it a couple of times. And then we're going to see what kind of temperature it's got here. We've got a thermometer we're going to check on. And we're going to see what we have. Right now we got temperature of about 73, 74 probably is going to end up, maybe 75. Yep, 75. A little warmer. But it's just fine right there. Okay, so it's about 75, 70, 75 and a half degrees, 76, okay. Now we're going to take this guy. Got a nice just bowl to put it in. You can see it's kind of sticking there, so it's kind of stretchy. So I'm just going to use that to pull it up. And then use my hands a little bit to kind of give it a little bit more of a stretch to it. And then we're going to just plop it in the bowl. There we go. And then we're going to let that guy rise for about 2 hours. Or we're going to let him rise for about 2 hours and then be back and divide it up and let's see what it looks like and see what we want to do. You can tell you've done this a few times. Yeah, I've grabbed a couple of pieces of dough a few times in my life. So, but even my finger's a little sticky. Always a nice little tip. Anytime you get flour and dough on your fingertips, wash your hands, dry them. It's going to make it a lot easier to work with the dough. Okay, and then we're just going to let that down. Yeah. Oh, Jim. Yeah. Now, hey, Jim, I need to get you some of this new sourdough culture, man. This sourdough, the kombucha culture I'm using is so active. So active. Okay, this is I haven't even tried it in my San Francisco sour recipe. If I did, probably would add 0 yeast in it. It's very, very active. I mean, this stuff it just blows up. Yeah. Do you oil the bowl? No, I don't oil it. There's no need to. You know, it's going to stick in there, But then just get yourself a little plastic scraper. You know, they're usually a buck or two. You know, a couple of bucks. You got a little plastic scraper you can use to scrape things out on. And I'm just going to cover it up with plastic. Okay. Watch the plastic. You know, you can do the plastic wrap. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate watching the replays. And I got another video I need to do too. But it's a condensed one because when I make it a typical way that I do, this is kind of like a speed way. I'm just kind of trying to do different, but y'all can see how it goes. But it's still going to turn out nice. Now, the nice little tip I was going to throw out, if you wanted to make a dough like this much quicker, I could just add about a teaspoon or let's say 1 pack of yeast for this 2 loaves of bread. I could add 1 pack of dry yeast and then turn it into a loaf of bread that's going to be ready in about 2-3 hours. Let it rise for about an hour, hour and a half, fold it back, double it down, and then, make it like a regular loaf. And then it's going to be really, fantastic loaf of bread, a little bit of yeast, gives a little bit of kicker to it, makes it go quicker into a time frame that you'd like. So, but it's a great versatile dough. Then as we go through this a few times, I'll be trying some different things in there, throwing some like pumpkin seeds and poppy and millet and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm sorry, Nick. Yeah, it might be the reception of where I'm at. So, all right, but I appreciate you stopping in. So check the replay. I'm trying to keep it brief, so at least the replays won't be quite so long. All right, and I will check back in about 2 hours with a shorter video, and so make it a little bit easier for y'all. Okay, hopefully just check the replay and invite your friends, invite your followers, share it out so we can get more folks loafing away, get them baking. Okay. Thanks a lot, you guys. Have a good day. Have a good New Year, too.